Cities are communities in which we don't have people in this country who are here illegally and committing crime. Unfortunately, we don't have secure communities, especially in Massachusetts. Let me explain. Joining me now on the phone from the Northborough Tea Party, John, my good friend, John O'Mara. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Jim.
How you doing today?
I'm doing extremely well. Hopefully you are too.
I am. All right. Was I succinct in the assessment of what secure communities is?
Unfortunately, yes. This is not, an issue that should be controversial. It's so straightforward. It's simply an attempt to help our law enforcement people protect us.
Now, it's law, right? Secure communities is a law, correct?
Well, it is. It has been dictated by the federal government that all communities, every state, has to implement secure communities by the year 2013. And of course, our governor, back in December, decided, yes, this is a good idea, and he signed on. Well, then shortly thereafter, he got blasted by these advocacy groups. In fact, he received a letter just days after that announcement from 28 advocacy groups, many of which favor open borders, et cetera, et cetera. They're totally geared to the issues impacting the illegal, I shouldn't say the illegal, but immigrants, but many of which are illegal.
Well, I have nothing against immigrants.
No,
I mean,
exactly.
welcome aboard. Come here. Actually, we need more immigrants because they're some of the few people who appreciate what we have here.
Jim, they appreciate it more than we do.
You're right. That's sad, but I'm glad that they still come.
Yes, absolutely. Well, it's still the only place to come if you want to be free, even with the constraints that we have on us these days.
Right. So go ahead. I'm sorry. So
that's okay. Well, of course, when the advocacy groups came out against it, he started to backtrack. In fact, we were waiting for the implementation after he made notice that he was going to implement it. And by the way, Martha Coakley and many other politicians were supportive of that notion, but he dragged his feet. And then finally, in March, he said, "Well, we really have to get out there and get the input from the public." And the objective of which is clear to us now. It's simply a delaying tactic, and they scheduled a series of 10 meetings all the way out to July. The first one was held in Worcester several weeks ago, but no one knew anything about it. And they packed the hall with people who were anti-secure communities.
Okay.
And of course, the next day in the Boston Globe, it came across as, while the community is extremely anti-secure communities, et cetera, et cetera. So then the second meeting was held in Framingham, but we had gotten a whiff of that. And we came, unbeknownst to them, and we came in force. We came with our signs. We came with our good questions, and we shocked them because they weren't expecting it. And for the first 20 minutes, the meeting was delayed while they went out and got their toadies. They rounded up their folks and brought them in by the busload. It was totally off the wall, Jim. This is a public meeting in a public space, and they said, you will not photograph, you will not take video pictures, et cetera, et cetera. This is First Amendment. And we just would not bow to that nonsense. And we filmed, and the press was there also, by the way.
Yeah. Now, we're talking with John O'Mara from the Northborough Tea Party about this meeting, this controversial meeting that was held at Secure Communities. And during that meeting, I know that politely, you folks objected to a lot of the distaste that people have for the Secure Communities initiative.
Well, yeah, I mean, the point is, unfortunately, the folks who seem to be adamant against it, they're now really not well-versed in what this thing is all about.
Mm-hmm.
As you correctly pointed out at the outset, Jim, this is simply meant to be a defense and a way of protecting our communities against illegal criminals guilty of a serious crime. In other words, what happens when someone is arrested, number one, and then fingerprinted, the only thing that's changed with this program is that not only do those fingerprints go to the FBI, they are also sent to DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, and ICE to see if these people are here illegally. That's the only thing that's changed. So
here's Judge, can you just think about that for a minute? I mean, I just want you to think about it. Someone is here illegally, and we want to know who they are, and we want to keep an eye on them or incarcerate them if they are someone who is dangerous or if they are someone who has committed a crime. I mean, John, we do that with our own citizens. If I get pulled over by a cop and I'm breaking the law, I get fingerprinted and brought to the police department, and they try to verify my identity, period.
And by the way, these fingerprints are not racially, I mean, this is not an indication whether you're white, black, or whatever. Fingerprints don't care what gender or nationality you are.
No, they don't. They don't. And I just don't understand. I don't get the rationale of the folks who oppose something like this.
Well, it's very simple.
What?
It's very simple, Jim. It's all about votes. It's all about blanket amnesty at one point in time. This is a delaying device in order to, gather information that they thought they were going to be able to gather that is against this program. And it has nothing to do with protecting your community. It's strictly political, and it's an obvious attempt to cater to the illegal community. I should say the immigrant community, many of which are illegal, and that's the motive. And unfortunately, they've got a lot of support for it, even though people don't realize that this is in their best interest, illegal or legal or whatever.
We're talking with John O'Mara from the Northborough Tea Party. By the way, you can get to the Northborough Tea Party by northboroughteaparty.com. And, John, during the meeting, Marty Lamb, who ran against Jim McGovern, Republican, I guess had to explain to one of the people who thought that the Secure Communities Initiative was racially motivated, was unconstitutional, was a witch hunt. I mean, he basically had to explain to someone that, you can't run around and point the finger that this is racism, bigotry, anti-immigration. You can't do that and not expect people on the other side to say, how dare you accuse me of that?
Well, Jim, he wasn't just, this lady was not just talking about racial discrimination. She was comparing this to the Holocaust.
Yeah.
And that is what, tripped Marty's wire. I'll tell you, he rightfully showed indignation. The idea that this woman is comparing our country and the motives behind the Secure Communities to the brown shirts.
And Marty's Jewish, obviously. Yeah. And Marty has relatives who were victims of the Holocaust.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And she's saying, well, checking on an illegal immigrant, that's the Holocaust. I love the way people throw the Holocaust around as, I'm saying that sarcastically.
Oh, yeah.
I love the way they try to apply the Holocaust to everything. Let me tell you something. This is what the Holocaust was. They took millions of people, primarily Jews, because they were Jewish, and they massacred them. And then they had a systematic way of doing it in large plants, the same way that you slaughter cattle and then destroyed the bodies. That's what the Holocaust was. Let's all remember that. Now, going forward, if you're going to call something the Holocaust, it should have at least 4 of those 5 components. Thank you.
The audacity of this woman to do this, to state this in a public place, I mean, it just shows you the lengths that they will go to in order to sway opinion. But I mean, anybody in their right mind will recognize this. But unfortunately, as I mentioned before, many of these folks do not have a clear understanding of what this program is all about. And if they did, they would be on our side, supporting it. It's so blatantly clear. But unfortunately, that's not the case with You know, there are folks and organizations that are clearly against, the implementation of this program. Many of which are union folks, and they get behind this because this is the way they do things. You don't really look into what the pros and cons are. And the other thing is with these meetings, Jim, these are supposed to be representative across the board.
Yeah.
These people tear ICE apart. ICE is doing, I'm sure, the best they can with the resources that they have at their command, but they absolutely tear them apart, accuse them of corrupt databases and making decisions, sending off these poor people, many of which of these commentaries are strict sob stories that have no real point to it other than, please, cry with me.
Yeah.
But the point is that there's no representative from ICE on this panel. There's no the first one we went to in Framingham. They had an advocate who was against secure communities. There's no balance
on the panel.
Yeah, on the panel, but of course. They do not have any of the people who represent the other side. It's clearly an attempt. In fact, the way they promote this thing is that they're asking people to come, the immigrant community, come and share your concerns. They don't talk about you folks out there who you feel have positive view of this thing. Come and share your. It's all about the immigration folks coming in and sharing with us your concerns. So. It is, for a person who has an objective view and trying to find out what is really going on with this program,
you're not going to hear both sides of it, John.
Well, but Jim, the positive thing is because we have turned out twice now. They have, I have to say, the ground rules changed dramatically for this last go round. And one of the things, this is a public meeting. They were held. This one was held in Lawrence in the high school. There's a flag on the stage. Well, before we got started, they're just about ready to begin. Ralph Belmore, one of our Tea Party friends in Marlboro, got up and said, "Aren't we going to say the Pledge of Allegiance?" So, she graciously acknowledged that, and the whole audience, of course, stood up and said the pledge, and that's the way it should be.
Who's putting these meetings on, John?
Excuse me?
Who's putting these meetings on? I mean, who's in charge?
Mary Heffernan, who heads up the public safety department for the state of Massachusetts, was with us this past weekend.
Okay.
And it's her office, the public safety, the EOPS, as they say, the Executive Office of Public Safety.
Okay, so where's the next one?
Okay, the next one is going to be in Waltham.
Great.
It's Saturday, April 16th. It's going to be from 2 to 4. That's Saturday, April 16th. It's at the Government Center in Waltham. And we'd love to have people come. We had a busload of people that came out from Northborough and Marlborough in this command, and we really made a difference there. I mean,
that's great.
They outnumbered us by probably 3-1, but you wouldn't know that via the applause monitor. So
well. John, I think you're doing a great job. John O'Maris from the Northborough Tea Party. I would encourage everybody to get involved in this. John, they can find more information at your website, right?
Yeah, and of course, Jim, we have a meeting tonight on this very subject.
Okay.
It's in Northborough. It's at the Northborough Free Library. Jessica Vaughn, who is an unbiased expert, has been working on immigration for 13 years at the Center for Immigration Studies. She is going to bring us up to speed on this topic. Now, many people don't have a full understanding of what secure communities is, Jim. So I think it's really important if people have a concern about what's going on, they should come to the Northborough Free Library tonight, 7 o'clock, and you will find out an awful lot. You'll jumpstart this whole, this understanding process.
Excellent. John O'Mara, thank you so much. NorthboroughTeaParty.com. John, we'll talk to you again soon.
Great, Jim. Thank you so much.
Let's go out to the roadway.